Okay, bro, we gotta talk about 95-year-old living legend William Shatner. Now, a couple months ago, I made a video about William Shatner starting a rock and roll band, getting all these famous musicians together to start this super group. Well, there have been developments. William Shatner's band now has a name. That name, The Fuckers. And The Fuckers are playing Riot Fest this year. But not only are the Fuckers playing Riot Fest, William Shatner has hit them with the most rock and roll Hollywood A-list writer of all time. This guy has a list of demands as high as the sky, and today we're going to be getting into them. But before we do, my name is Dan Frampton, all one word, the O's a zero. I am the internet's most ruthless gatekeeper. I am a very serious man. And what I'm very serious about is you liking this video, hitting subscribe, and then after hitting subscribe, ringing that bell. Coming back for when I do more uploads. We talk about punk, hardcore, underground, rock and roll, DIY kind of music over here with minor variations here and there. I like to discuss my enemies and people that I'm at odds with, okay? It's a very dramatic place to be here on this channel, but you're gonna like it. It's all for the sake of entertainment, right? So now after we hit all those like buttons and subscribe buttons and rang the bell and all that sort of stuff, you left a nice little comment down there. We're gonna talk about this festival over here. Mosh, graffiti, booty shorts. The Scrupulous MOSH-MAN is a Pit Pros distro joint. The Pit Pros universe is Silver Age inspired superhero stories told through a DIY punk zine lens, starring MOSH-MAN, Dial, and the malicious Mayor Masterpiece. The Scrupulous MOSH-MAN is a 6-part mini-comic mini-series. Issues 1 through 3 are out now. MOSHMAN.BigCartel.com. It's called Riot Fest, and it's got a pretty stacked little lineup. Not gonna lie, you got Iggy Pop, Rise Against, Tool, Morrissey, Nas, Social Distortion, Bad Religion, Bright Eyes. It just goes on and on and on. Alanis Morissette is even playing this thing. And Alanis Morissette isn't the only Canadian icon playing this. That's right, we got William Shatner and his band, The Fuckers, playing the last day of this thing, Sunday night. And my God, there's so many other bands that I really love playing this thing. You got Good Riddance, Haywire, Murphy's Law, Ben Quad. Good God, that's a hell of a lineup. The most important band on this entire thing is William Shatner and his heavy metal band, The Fuckers. And I don't know if these heavy metal legends are going to be playing with William Shatner. I don't know if they are. But William Shatner and The Fuckers are not only playing Riot Fest, folks, they also have a record coming out, and it's going to have people from Black Sabbath, Judas Priest, Iron Maiden, and the list goes on and on. Just so many A-list rock and roll stars coming together to play with The Fuckers, okay? I can't believe that's what this guy named his band. 95-year-old living legend, Canadian man, guy from Star Trek, Captain Kirk himself, William Shatner. Now he's doing the coolest thing he's ever done at the age of 95 years old. The Fuckers, ladies and gentlemen. And look at this photograph. I don't know if this is AI. I don't know if this is Photoshop. I'm not exactly sure what I'm looking at over here, but it is something else, okay? It doesn't really seem like an AI photo. It seems like bad Photoshop, and it really is striking a chord in my heart. I love these fonts. I love this facial expression. I love that he's throwing up the horns. And not only all that, you can't see this because it's cropped out of the frame right now, but let me scroll down. He's rocking the Gibson, the Les Paul. You're not really doing a chord shape or anything over here, but I think that he is playing this guitar. He is going to be out there rocking and rolling with the best of them. Riot Fest this year, September. My God. But this isn't exactly what's making the news rounds right now. What's making the news rounds right now is that William Shatner hit Riot Fest with a rider, a list of demands that he is expecting to be met by the city, by the organization, by the promoters, and by everybody involved. And if he doesn't get these things, I don't know if William Shatner's even gonna show up. But before we get into all of these specifics, because we're going to be getting into the specifics over here, this doesn't really seem like an original idea, does it, Riot Fest? Nah, it doesn't really. You did it before with John Stamos. This is coming to us from just a year ago, August 14th, 2025. I covered this in a video this time last year. You're doing the same joke again. Last time, the big Hollywood rock star that you had coming to your stage was drummer John Stamos, and you put out this hilarious little list of demands over here, and it looks like the Riot Fest founder got the tattoo. That was the first condition on this list over here. And down here, you see the John Stamos tattoo under a tattoo of the Black Flag logo and a butter logo or whatever. So that's cute, that's cool, but that's only one of the conditions. But this year, the Hollywood rock star living legend that you're bringing through your gates is a much bigger name, so you went even harder with the joke. This time, it's printed out over here like it's been Xeroxed. There's been a whole artistic aesthetic treatment to this rider over here, and I gotta say, I appreciate it, because here's the thing about jokes, you know what I mean? A lot of the time when you're a comedian, a lot of the time when you're a comedic writer, the joke isn't fully formed right away, you know? Sometimes you gotta get up there, you gotta bomb night after night, you gotta try to get up on these open mic nights, you gotta try to get into these afternoon matinee shows kind of thing, just to workshop your material. Maybe you go to the dentist and you workshop your material on the dentist. Maybe you go to school or whatever and you workshop your material on all your little classmates or whatever. So I'm gonna chop this up to the John Stamos joke was just a trial run of this whole thing. Because now we got William Shatner and his band, The Fuckers, okay? And I think that that makes for a stronger premise for a funnier rider. But I haven't read this thing yet. I don't know if this rider is 100% funny yet. So let's get into this list of demands. Let's see if it's better than the John Stamos one. William Shatner, Riot Fest 2026 Artist Rider Requirements. Chicago must provide. Rename a boat in honor of William Shatner so he can captain a ship again. Okay, everybody wants to see Captain Kirk at the helm again. 95-year-old William Shatner driving a boat. That doesn't really seem safe. I'm not exactly sure about that one. Then the next one says, one prominently displayed Riot Fest 2026 billboard with William Shatner's face and face of one lucky fan. Well, that's very charitable. He's not only thinking about himself, he wants to give that spot to a fan, to somebody that supports him. He wants to give back to the community. This is fantastic. Also, a classic Chicago food item to be named in tribute to William Shatner. Definitely no hot dogs with ketchup on top. That is not a Chicago classic. I learned that the hard way. Co-anchor the weather outside Chicago's most beloved meteorologist. I'm not exactly sure what that means, but I guess Chicago has a meteorologist that is celebrated and he wants to do a segment with them? Okay, whatever, I don't know. Sing Take Me Out to the Ball Game at a Chicago baseball game. This one's unclear. This one's very unclear. Does he want Chicago to provide that? So Chicago must sing the anthem? Or is it that William Shatner wants the opportunity to sing this song? I'm not exactly sure. It's not very clear. But anyway, that's the end of the first section. The next section down here, Riot Fest must provide, in parentheses, performance, fire breathers, many of them. An intro video created by Gwar. Artist golf cart shall be replaced by a DeLorean. I think all that's very reasonable. All of that should be easy to attain. No problem. Get Gwar on the line. Get as many fire breathers and Cirque du Soleil performers you can possibly get. And I'm sure there's still a DeLorean kicking around, no problem. But I don't know if William Shatner knows this or not, but DeLoreans don't actually do time travel. That was a movie thing from the 80s. And when you're 95 years old, I bet the 80s seems like it was just yesterday, but that was like 40 years ago, bro. And then Riot Fest must provide hospitality. The dressing room shall be themed as Shatner's Shag Shack. That's disgusting. He's a 95-year-old man. One Montreal Canadiens hockey sweater signed by John Stamos. Interesting. That is a cute little callback. I like the fact that they mentioned John Stamos. Little reference, little tug on the coattail. Remember that time we did the John Stamos joke? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. We remember. We certainly remember. Definitely 100%. 8 pallets of Faygo, not to be shared with ICP. That's rude. That is so rude. That's a low blow. That's uncalled for. That's uncalled for. Oh, I can't believe I just read that. Unbelievable. You're going to put yourself above ICP? You're going to bogart the Faygo from ICP? I don't know, dude. I don't know if I can get behind this anymore. I don't know if I like this anymore. An assortment of adoption puppies sourced from a reputable local animal rescue nonprofit. Okay, you won me back. You won me back immediately. Okay, we can live with the ICP hate if you're going to be giving back to the rescues out there. I own a rescue. I fully support rescuing animals. 1 pair of tube socks and 1 pair of underwear. Clearly, that's a non-negotiable. You don't even need to mention that one. They should just be providing that to you. You're a 95-year-old man. Out of their own interest, they should be providing that to you. 1 bowl of sauerkraut. Disgusting. Back on the hate list. And then his final requirement over here, a bouquet of flowers in a vase. You know, something sweet, something dainty, completely reasonable, absolutely reasonable. So the question is, now, is this joke funnier than the last time they did the joke? And I'd say it's about the same, not gonna lie. It's not really laugh out loud funny. There's just some kind of random things on there. It's just kind of absurd and outlandish and that kind of thing. And that's fine. It's a little bit more absurd and outlandish than the last one because of the demand to get Gwar to do stuff, the fire breathers, the DeLorean. But as far as I'm concerned, this thing is now a running joke. Now I want to see who Riot Fest is going to do this Rioter joke with next time. I don't know if it can top William Shatner, because now I'm actually thinking about it. I'm stewing over here. I'm kind of brooding on the fact. And I think the William Shatner one is overall funnier because of the circumstances, okay? He's 95 years old. He's still alive. He's a living legend. He's Canadian. All of those things, and now he's doing a rock and roll project called The Fuckers, and this is his demands? Of course, that's hilarious. I like it. I think it's funny. But at the end of the day, it's just a piece of promo material, and I don't know if you needed this whole Rioter situation to promo the fact that William Shatner is back, 95 years old, and he's about to play a rock and roll show, and his band is called The Fuckers. It's incredible. It's incredible. Finally, something cool happening in 2026. America, you're pulling through with this one. Thank you. This video was brought to you by my comic books, MOSH-MAN.BigCartel.com. Mosh, graffiti, booty shorts. The Scrupulous MOSH-MAN is a Pit Pros distro joint. The Pit Pros universe is Silver Age-inspired superhero stories told through a DIY punk zine lens, starring MOSH-MAN, Dial, and the malicious Mayor Masterpiece. The Scrupulous MOSH-MAN is a 6-part mini-comic mini-series. Issues 1 through 3 are out now. MOSH-MAN.BigCartel.com. Okay, goodbye.